Hello everyone, welcome back to the front line. We have a Christmas Eve game going on. This is December 24th, 2018, so I thought I would do a Christmas Eve gift, I suppose, to everyone. I don't know if you consider it a gift, but you know, hey, Merry Christmas. Yeah, we're going to do scenario 3. This is called Flash Thunder. So before we look at the map, let's just take a look at the story behind the game. So it says, somewhere between Utah Beach and St. Mary Glees, June 6th, 1944. Thousands of paratroopers dropped on Normandy during the night of June 6, 1944. To avoid flak, most of the planes flew too low and too fast to place their sticks in their assigned drop zones. Paratroopers were scattered between the beaches and their objectives. The first order of the day was to regroup and find their objectives. On the other hand, the surprised German defenders patrolled the night, hoping the rumors of an invasion weren't true. If it was, the very beginning of what was later named the longest day. Intro there by Mark Walker. So what we have for the German setup, first of all, this is map 16. So it plays on a single map. So just to kind of give you a little look here. Let me loosen this up just a little bit. Yeah. Okay, so this is a single map. And then here we have, for the German forces, down here in this little cafe, this was called, had a name too. I don't know how true this event was, but the name of the cafe, I just lost my bookmark, was, yeah, the story here is that Lieutenant Koch is with a 164-154, and he's got the assaulter skill. And he's celebrating his 40th birthday at the Two Wheel Cafe. Alright, let me put my bookmark back. So there's Lieutenant Koch. I hope that's how you pronounce it. He's got his assaulter skill. I looked that up. It doesn't go away. I sometimes forget that. Some of these skills are single use, but assaulter stays. And that gives people that are in his hex or stacked with him here the assault skill. So there's his 154 and his 164, and they are in a cafe. Then we have a lone paratrooper up here, and it really is a paratrooper. It's a hero. This is Hurd is the hero, and he has decisive. And that is a single-use skill, as I am sometimes prone to forget. So the objective of this particular scenario is for all the American forces to leave off of the east side of the map. That's it. The game stops when there are no more American forces on the map, or I get incredibly bored. I played this once and I made some pretty significant mistakes, surprise, surprise, that I'm actually refilming. I actually filmed this and then I got some feedback on Melee, which I missed before, plus one of the special scenario rules. This actually is an interesting scenario. It's got several rules. One of the special scenario rules, though, is because of nighttime confusion, it says that you can't initiate melee with somebody that was just spotted that impulse. So, like, you can spot something, and then on your next impulse, you could then go in and get it, because it's like taking that time to actually confirm that those are indeed enemies. It is nighttime, but it says, and this is another one I probably forgot too, any American shaken unit in terrain with a positive target modifier can attempt to rally in the rally phase. That is actually a super important thing to remember, which I already forgot. It is nighttime, rules are in effect. And then it also has a set of rules here for the cricket. So the paratroopers, just to give you a very short history lesson in case you're not familiar, the paratroopers landed with a cricket, and it makes a click-click noise, click-clack, and they would use that to identify each other along with like a password. It was like, you know, flash thunder kind of a thing. So you would do the click-clack cricket noise maker, and then the person you were challenging could click back. And then also you had, like, you know, flash thunder for code names and passwords. So what happens? Well, it says on the first impulse of a turn, you can have one of your units use this thing. And then there's a table that you roll on, and you either end up rolling on the American reinforcement table or a German reinforcement table. And then as you progress, the second time you roll it, it's got it set up where, like, if you had rolled American unit, then the next time you add +1 to your roll, so you might end up, easier chance getting a German unit. And then if you rolled a German unit, you subtract 1 from the roll, so you get an easier time of getting an American unit. So as we play, we'll pull some reinforcements out. And that's why this is a variable turn game. It's either just going to quickly get some American units and then off the board, or I'm just going to get a whole bunch of German units and get wiped out. Now, what would prevent me from taking our hero herd all the way across? Well, that's where Lieutenant Coke comes in, because he can, even though it's nighttime rules, he's not on any kind of AI patrol route or anything like that. So he actually has full command of his forces, so he can chase down my hero unit. So my hero unit is going to need some sort of backup if he's going to survive. Otherwise, it will be a short game. So it really comes down to a balance of calling for troops, hoping you get things that will benefit you, and then getting them off the board or stopping them if you're playing the German player. But that's kind of the premise of the game. So let's go ahead and get right on into it. Now, for the start of this particular scenario, the Americans actually go first. And since we do check the clicker on the first impulse of the turn, I'm actually going to try and make an attempt at getting some kind of American reinforcement. And then with my decisive skill, I could go ahead and either move or something. I just know I want to get out of that corner, but I don't necessarily want to go alone. So my first roll of the game is a 2. That's fantastic. And what I'll do, instead of just showing you the chart, I'm just going to kind of roll on it. So when you roll, there's a table reinforcement A. I'm going to roll 2 dice 6. Now each time I roll on that chart, doesn't matter if it's German reinforcement, American reinforcement, I only roll a particular number one time. So that's an 8. So I'm going to get I get a 254 squad and Corporal Medro without any skill. So I'm going to pause here, grab him, and then I'm going to show you how we place him on the board, because I've got kind of a thing I made up for that too. Alright, I've got Corporal Medro and team here. Now it does say in the rules, when you're going to place something, if I draw, say, the Americans, which I did here, then the German player gets to place them within 2 hexes of the calling unit, if you will. Since I'm kind of playing both sides, to be fair, I thought what I would do is roll a die 6 and then place them up to 2 hexes away. So for instance here, I'm going to start with 1 is always the north hex. Let me just roll here. So for example, 6, which will put it over here. So like 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. 2 hexes would put them off the board. So what I'll do is, instead of just re-rolling, I'll just stick them here 1 away. So up to 2, unless it would place them off the board, then I just put it 1 hex away. And if that's still off the edge of the board, like later if I decide to have Corporal Medro use the clicker, and that would put the unit off, then I would go ahead and just re-roll to try and get something on the board. But this way I don't feel like I am necessarily placing stuff for or against the other player, because I am trying to play both sides, fairly. But that would be the first impulse. When they do the clicker, there's a couple of rules. 1, they get marked with spotted because they're making noise. And then 2, they get marked ops complete. Now, that would be important because this impulse, I guess this would be like impulse 1. It says, just trying to remember, you cannot melee units that were unspotted at the beginning of the current impulse. Well, since they're spotted now, I could melee them. So that might be important. So I can't run across a field, say I spot somebody, and then attack them. That's a very important thing to remember. Now that he's spotted, I could shoot at him per regular nighttime rules. Even though they weren't with a fire marker, they're spotted. I think it said that too, if I remember right. Let me see here. I know it says if they fire, move, they're spotted. So I guess spotting, if I ran, I could then do melee with them. I guess I still can't shoot at them because they're not marked with a fire, so we can't see the muzzle flashes. I think when I played it first, because they were spotted, I went ahead and let them be shot at because they're shooting in the direction of the noise. But let me double check the rule on that. Maybe someone will have better. Yeah, I just checked it, and it does say only if they fired. So just because he's spotted, that would make him eligible for someone to melee attack him, but we can't shoot at him. So even though we hear the noise is very weird at night how it works. So the first time I played, I probably did that completely wrong as well. It just seemed very thematic. You hear click, click, and you start shooting, but that was wrong. But anyway, that's the first impulse of the Americans. So now we would come to the German player here. I'm going to try and move this. Oh, I apologize, a little bit of glare. I've spent quite a bit of time trying to get lighting and things just right. So there is a little bit of glare there on the board, but I mean, I'm hoping not too bad. It's just the more I fidget with the lighting, the worse it gets, I think. So we'll leave it like that for now. Alright, so Lieutenant Coke can activate. He should not know. This would be fun as a face-to-face, kind of a blind game where you got two people set up and you have a referee. That's how nighttime should be played. These are definitely soloable, but man, since I know where people are, we can start figuring out where to go. And the first thing I want to do is move Lieutenant Coke up, because I know I'm supposed to stop Americans. I want to try and get out here in the open a little bit, and then maybe branch off into some of this defensive terrain. We've got some trees right there in the middle, and then some woods up here as well. I want to see if I can block those avenues of approach as much as possible. So we're going to double move. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. And I think what we'll do is we'll actually stop here on the road, because the next turn I can then maybe split off and put some people up here to defend against this northern route, and then I'll put a unit down here to try and defend against a southern approach. We might actually just all move down here, because that would give us not much. I feel like I might need to split, but we'll worry about that in a moment, because now the impulse is going to switch back up there to Corporal Medro, and he's got some troops, and they will move. They'll double move. They're going to move around this Bocage. So we actually have Bocage here. I think the last mission we played there was no Bocage. It was all hedges, but this is Bocage. These are hedges. Doesn't do anything for me right now, but we'll go ahead and move. 1, 2, 3, 6. Line of sight is still blocked. They couldn't fire anyway because they're marked with a moved. But that'll get us thinking about what we're going to do next. Yeah, so what we'll do now is end of turn, we'll take the admin markers off. So I'll take the ops complete. We'll take the spotted off as well. I won't need that. And then we have the moved comes off. Alright, so that was a quick turn, easy enough. Now we'll roll initiative to start turn 2. It's a tie, which means the Americans retain initiative. On a tie, it goes to the person who last had it. Great. And now I have to make the decision. Do I want to run the clicker? So at this point, I've got a good position to where the German player can, has to decide how to split, because I could definitely move my hero around to the south and keep him moving along the top, and this would actually keep Corporal Medro out of sight, because you only have a range of 2 when looking. So we would actually need to move Lieutenant Coke up. Let me check something in the rules. Alright, I just wanted to check. So if they activate in this hex with Lieutenant Coke for movement, I can't split. So I can't send, say, one guy over here and then move everybody up here. I would actually have to do that individually. So like I could activate this stack here and send one person off for that impulse, and then they would have to do their move at a later impulse. So I can't completely split now. What I will do though is, because I've got a 154 and a 164, I do like having a assault move though, but I think because this 5 is range and we got short range anyway, I think what I'll do is I think I'll leave this squad right here, and I'm going to take Lieutenant Coke and the squad attached to him, and we're going to double time up here. So we're going to go, this shrubbery is like one movement point, so we'll go 1, 2, 3, 4. We might not have to double move, but we're going to move up here, because what we want to do is cut off this northern route for the American player, because that would just be a straight shot all the way across to the east. There's nothing. The Bocage would be a pain. 2 movement points for the trees right there, you know, is a lot better than the Bocage. So we'll cut that northern route, and right now we've kind of cut this southern route just a little bit. I will have to move him later. Now the only problem is having him out in the open like that. No leader, he can't rally or anything like that if something bad happens. Oh, you know what? I'm not supposed to move him first anyway, because it's the Americans' initiative. I was just thinking ahead what I could do with him. That's what. So with Corporal Metro then, oh yeah, I got to decide if I want to use the clicker. Oh my goodness, I'm just all over the place trying to think of what to do. Yeah, we're gonna roll on the click clack table. Now I have to add +1 because it was an American unit that was rolled last. So if I roll a 1 or a 2, we get to pull another American unit. Why do I want some units? I think just because I want to have some options, but I'm very scared because the chances of this being a German unit are really high. Oh look, but I did roll a 2. I should have kept it on camera for you, but I rolled a 2. That's great. Now what I roll for the Americans is a 6 this time. Let me see what a 6 is. I think that's Major Tom. That's like the exact rolls I did last time. Yeah, it's Major Tom with the opportunity movement skill. Alright, so let me pause and we'll come back with Major Tom. Alright, I pulled Major Tom. Probably what I should have done was, we're going to say that Corporal Medro used the click clack. That's what we'll do. Normally I would do the hero, but I got to get him out of there too. So we're going to pretend that it was, I guess that's cheating a little bit. You know, whatever. We're going to roll. So Corporal Medro, that would be off the board. That'd be that hex here. And there's no spot. I will re-roll. 4. Okay, so 1, 2, 3, 4. 2 hexes. So we click-clacked and we found Major Tom here. Major Tom has opportunity movement. Basically, if he's not under some kind of ops complete move, any of that stuff, when he could opportunity fire, he can actually do a move instead. So if it looks like he's about to get shot, or the people stacked with him, they could just bug out. It does say you could assault move into a vehicle, or close assault into a vehicle doing that. Nothing about infantry, so mostly this will be a getting out of trouble type of issue. So we'll mark Corporal Medro with his spotted, so someone could attack him if needed, and he is ops complete. Then I roll a die, and I forgot to do this for Corporal Medro. I was going off memory and I just forgot this. When you do bring on a reinforcement, you're supposed to roll a die 6, and on an even, that unit gets marked with a moved marker. So we're going to roll for Major Tom. Major Tom does not get marked with a move marker, so he is eligible for movement. Alright, so kind of a rocky start there. Forgot a couple things right off the bat, but I think we're on track now. Now it would go over to the German player. See, at this point I was planning where to move people to cut things off, but this kind of changes it a little bit, because now we've got a guy hiding behind this hedge. Hedges don't offer a whole lot of protection. And the bad thing is, Lieutenant Coke right here, he can actually see there. The hedge when you're adjacent to the hedge, right, that's going to give, I don't think hedges give much of anything as far as protection. Hedges, they are blocking, so they block vision, but no target modifier. Movement is just 1. Yeah, hedge is horrible. See, it blocks line of sight traced through or along the hedge from same level to same level with the following exceptions. Doesn't block line of sight to a hex in which the hex forms a hex side. When traced from a hex through a hedge that forms on the hex's sides, or when line of sight is traced from the firing hex along a hedge that connects to a firing hex to the target hex. Example, blah blah blah. Negates movement modifier against direct fire traced through a cross hex side. No modifier. Yeah, like hedge kind of sucks. I mean, if I was like 1 back, then we'd have something. Then I could block line of sight. But basically, we click clack. Major Tom says, "Hey, I'm here," and this guy says, "Oh goody, there's an American there." So Lieutenant Coke, actually, instead of trying to maneuver fancily, he might just fire. I think that might be a smart thing to do, actually. Because at nighttime, they're within 2, so there's no penalties. So he sees Major Tom outline there in the brush. So this is going to be very bad, unless Major Tom rolls really, really well. Because what we have here is 2 firepower. This is a question I asked. I think I might have asked this in the previous video because I was looking at special scenario rules and nationality characteristics. What I don't get, it says when you do like the multi-firing, and maybe someone could explain this better for me, it says the first unit gets their full inherent infantry firepower value. So this is 1. Then everybody else who contributes, as far as the person not a support weapon, but like the unit, they add half round up. So half of 1 is, 0.05. You round that back up to 1. So this is like 2 firepower for 2 infantry. I got a half squad and a full squad. So that's 2 firepower plus 1 for Lieutenant Coke. That's 3 firepower is my understanding of that. So, that's what we'll go with. So basically, Major Tom needs to roll really, really well. And he doesn't. In fact, he rolled really, really bad. The 6 plus the 3 firepower, that gives me 9. I'm going to put that on my little tracker here. So we got 9 firepower. The 1 defense for Major Tom, that's an 8. 8, 8, 8. So now, Major Tom needs to roll really good on his damage check, or he's going to be a hurt puppy. He rolled a 6. That's 14. That's more than double. Because it is greater than 2, less than 3. Good order, single man counter is wounded. Okay. Well, I don't know how you want to put it. He maybe landed, he was stuck in a tree, stuck on the hedges. German player sees him, and he's wounded. So he is shaken and wounded. I got a wounded marker here somewhere. That's not a good. They lose some leadership bonuses to the same hex, and they don't get to use their, well, it says leadership morale -1. Once he's unshaken, he's going to be hurt. The only way to heal that is with a medic. And I haven't looked to see if there's a medic there for the American side. There is a medic for the Germans. So they fired. Alright. Well, now what I can do with Major Tom, I guess I could just leave him right there. I would want to back him up, I think, and put that blocked line of sight. I wouldn't want to start a new turn and have him get shot again. So he, with his new movement score of 3... 1, he can actually cross the, you know what I might do? Let's move him up here with the corporal. Yeah, we can't heal the wounded till we get a medic, but I can put 2 single man counters in here. I'm going to make a very tall stack. So we're going to move him up here. I'm going to put a move because he's moved, but not our buddies here. Yeah, so we'll just do this. I'm going to try very hard not to knock that stack over. Then next impulse, there's no more German units. Then we come back. Herd is going to try and get out of there. He's going to move into 6. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. He's going to come whipping around here to this tree. Well, let's see. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Can't ignore the fact that there's some trees right there. And he's going to get a move. Oh boy, not a good start for the Americans. I was hoping to get some good troops out here to make it easier to get past the Germans, but I don't know, it might not look that way. Alright, well, what we'll do is check initiative here for the next turn. Let me grab our cup. German player gets the initiative. Alright, well, I should have taken the admin marker. Let me clear the admin and we'll come back on the new turn. Okay, I advanced the marker. It is a German player. And that's exactly why I wanted to move Major Tom. I didn't want Major Tom to get shot through the hedge again. And that's exactly what I would have done if I had left them there. So I'm glad I moved him out. Now, because he is shaken, though, I can't heal the wounded. But I can see if we can unshake Major Tom, because that can limit our movement and things that we do. They are not in a terrain that has a positive target modifier, and Corporal Medro does not have a leadership modifier. So poor Major Tom is on his own. He's got to get a 6 or less, and that's a 9. So maybe moving him up there wasn't necessarily the best move right off the bat. But, you know, adapt and overcome. Alright, we got you, sir. Alright, well, now the German player has to decide what to do. He definitely would like some cover. 1, 2, 3, 4. If we get up here, we can block this spot here a little bit. So that's what we'll do. 1, 2, 3, 4. And that way, as that big stack, if it does try to move this way, we can we got to corral them a little bit. They're going to have to take this south road, and they can scout out this way. But if we roll for more reinforcements, we might get German reinforcements, and then we might luck out with placement. So what I'll do is take Corporal Medro. We're going to move that stack. Now, they got a shaken guy. Well, here's the thing. I can't move the shaken person towards Lieutenant Koch. I can't move out this way, but we can go south and try to skirt around. So hop in the hedge is 1. This field is also 1, so that's 2 movement points because I got to hop the hedge and move here. So it's not blocked line of sight, but we are over the hedge. Now I could be doing the hedge here completely wrong, you know, but as far as my personal study, that seems legitimate. Oh, and I forgot to put a move marker on Lieutenant Koch because they just moved up to deny that north route. Yeah, I didn't roll for any extra people because we're going to try and get moving here. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. We're going to take this road. 1, 2, 3, 4. Now I'm keeping Herd out here in the open. Again, because of nighttime, we can only see 2 hexes, so he's technically not spotted right now. If the German player comes out, if he gets initiative again, the best he could hope for would be to move down 1 and then do assault fire. So he'd have to do like assault move, and then fire. That'd be the best bet of doing something, because he wouldn't be spotted. So that special scenario rule is I can't come running down. Well, actually he is spotted because he's in the open. You know what? That might not be the best place to put him then. Because when you're in the open, you're spotted. but the two nighttime, yeah, but he could move down here. He can't shoot at him, but he knows he's there. So this is why this would be really fun as like a referee game. You're just really trying to guess where people are. What to do? See, and the Bocage pretty much stops you cold. Let's dash from tree to tree here. So we're gonna go 1, 2, 3, 4. Let's dash. So now I'm not in the open, not spotted or anything like that. So you can't just come running down and melee my hero. Although my hero could probably fight pretty good. It'd be 2 to 3 odds, but I get a positive shift because it's a hero, which I think puts it on the 1-to-1. So a hero could probably melee his way out of that group, but we don't want to take that chance. That's the end. So let's take our admin off. I don't have any fire for effect, smoke, or anything like that. So we'll just take those admin off. We're going to roll for initiative. This will be the start of turn 4 of our unlimited turns. Okay, German player has initiative again. Let's see. That's tough. I mean, I could pass, force the Americans to do something, and then react to that. Well, first of all, let's do this. I don't have my turn sequence out, so I'm going off memory, but we roll for initiative. Now we got to check if I can get rid of that shaken status on Major Tom. 11. No, in fact, almost double, I'd say. He's probably more afraid now than he was a little while ago. And at this point, I don't feel like I need to roll on the reinforcement chart, because we're just trying to get past here. I'm trying to figure out how best to do that. Because this brush offers like no protection. Now I could move the hero around and come south. See, and that might be what we do. We're going to start moving herd 1, 2. Now, he's not, I guess, but see, it's nighttime, so I can still only see 2 hexes, so he's still safe. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. I'm going to shift that camera just a little bit. So I'm actually going to run him south, and he can actually run south off the board. I still have decisive, so we could actually get a double move out of him. So let me throw a move on him right now. It comes back to the German player. See, the German player, he can't really catch up. I've put the German player in a bad spot, I think. Because see, we're waiting to see where they go, but they could do the same thing. They could hop that hedge, 1, 2, 3, 4, and then everybody goes south. So we are kind of funneling where they can go, but I have nobody down south. So I think what I'll do with Lieutenant Coke is actually, I'm going to leave the 154 unit there, and we're going to come down around this way and try to block south. Alright, so we're going to go 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Now, let me move that just a little bit for you to see. So we're actually just going to come down around and try to move south here. Because see, now I can move Corporal, well, this is Herd again. And he'd go 1, 2 through the house, 4, 5, 6. That'd put him here, and that'd get him stuck down here against the Bocage, or he could hop. But that gives me splitting the force. I hate splitting the forces, but now I can kind of contend with either situation on the south there or up north a little bit. So let's see what would be good. I was loosening up so I can move the camera easier here. It's loosening the little knob that holds it in place. Okay, but see, now I got Corporal Medro. And again, I can't move closer towards people while he's still shaken. So I'm currently 1, 2, 3, 4 hexes away. So if I can maintain a 4 hex, but then I can't move over because I've got Lieutenant Coke over there and I can't move closer towards people. So really all I can do is hop and go south and also try to push around. So that's maybe what we'll do. 1, 2, 1 for hop in the hedge, 1 to move into a clear hex. And I can't move into those woods because I don't have enough movement points, because with the shaken leader he's only got 3 movement points. So we'll move back 1. And that still moves us south just a little bit, but yeah, we'll see what that does. Now I have this guy up here that I left behind. You know, I didn't leave you behind because you're not liked. I just left you because what else am I going to do? But we're going to start pushing south though. 1, 2, 3. And that's about 3. Yeah, he can move up here. Okay, so I'm thinking if I move here on a good initiative, they would then be spotted. They're both out in the open. This unit wouldn't be able to do a melee because they've got a shaken guy who is non-melee eligible. But Corporal Medro is, but he doesn't contribute anything to the melee because he's got no firepower and no support weapon. But they have 254. And my German's only a 1. So I'd put him at a significant disadvantage. So he would just want to be able to shoot. So he's going to move there on the hope that he can shoot at that stack. That'd be good for them. But if the Americans get the initiative, see, here's the thing. I'm limited. I probably can't use the clicker again because I've got a German unit right there forcing their hand. I still don't. Part of me says I don't want to move that far. Yeah, only because I don't want to put that one guy out to dry, because this shrubbery stuff offers nothing. It's just yeah, brush flowers. It does degrade, but no target modifier, so he's not in any kind of protection. And unless he scores, we get, you know, win initiative, they could just shoot into his hex, and you know, he'd have to roll really good to save himself. That might be worth it. You know what? Let's do it. Go big or go home, right? We're going to leave that German unit there, even though it's kind of out in the open. But we're going to hope for initiative, and he's going to hose down that stack of Americans with his 1 rifle from his half squad. So let's see what happens there. That's everybody's moved. So we're going to take these off. Hope everything's on the camera. I changed the camera angle once again here, so hopefully instead of having to pick and lift the camera and move, I can just move the camera itself on the tripod a little bit and try to keep everything in frame. Alright, let's go for initiative. Let's see how this plays out. And the German player is really, really hoping for initiative. And he did it! Look at that! That's exactly what he wanted. So turn 5. So first thing we're going to do though, again, let's see if we can get Major Tom. Major Tom's got a morale of 6. Oh, that just popped right out. But it is a 3. That is probably the most fortunate thing right there to happen for the American, is he is now not shaken. Because he's wounded. If he had more issues, he'd be dead. So Major Tom is there. But Major Tom, though, can now help with... and carrying around a moved marker I don't need. But he can now help with damage checks because he's actually got a modifier. And since he's the ranking officer, I'm going to put him on top. Because he's also got that opportunity move, which won't do much good here, because if the German unit was moving, then we could opportunity move and get out of there, or opportunity fire and hose this guy down. But since he's here and he's like, oh, I see the Americans, he's just going to shoot. That's kind of what we planned for. So that's what we're going to do. At this point, 1 firepower, We're hoping that the German player rolls really high. High enough. Since the American unit is out in the open, they don't get any terrain modifier bonuses, so they are just left with the 2. The German player had a firepower 1 and 3, so that's 4. That's a difference of 2. So he's going to make damage checks with a +2 to morale. However, good old Major Tom doesn't get to add his leadership modifier to himself, so we're going to roll for him first. But if he passes, he gets to put that leadership modifier on everybody else. So let's do it. Major Tom passes, lucky for us. So we're going to take him off the stack temporarily here. So let's see, Corporal Medro, and he gets to subtract 2. Well, actually it's a 0, because my +2 towards the damage check negates out Major Tom's leadership modifier. So actually just a 6, which is enough for Corporal Medro. And now we'll check that against the 254 here. Back it up. Back it up one. I forgot to put this wounded. So his leadership is -1. So he's only a 2, which means we're actually only subtracting 1 from the die roll. So 6 is 7. So actually Corporal Medro is shaken. I forgot about that. Major Tom is wounded. Okay, now let's check the airborne unit. 10 plus 1 is 11. So not quite double. So they do get shaken. That actually worked out very well for the German player. Now I can't run in there for melee because we just fired. But that did put the hurt on the Americans for sure. And since Major Tom does not have an attached weapon, support weapon that is, he does not get to shoot back. So that actually worked out very good for I took a gamble. I didn't know how that would work out, but that worked out really well for the German player. Okay, so now we do go to the Americans. But it is tricky now because we have to decide. Do I try and call for more American units? Because I got opportunity movement. That's if he moves. Because now we've lost, well, not lost, but they're shaken. I'd have to roll a 1 or a 2 again to get another American unit out here. But if I fail, I'm putting more Germans on the board. And right now, the American player is hurting bad. I still have not used my decisive skill for herd, which could be good. Because see, here's what I'm thinking. If I take herd and go, 1, 2, I'm moving along the bottom. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Then I would bring him down to block. It's like chess at this point. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. I'd put him about here. Then Lieutenant Locke comes down. 1, 2, 3. He would like just stop right here, and then that would force her to hop the Bocage and then move. But either way, I've got this on lockdown. So wherever Herd tries to go, right now Lieutenant Coke has him cornered. Right now, my poor Americans up here are in very bad shape. We can move into these woods, but I have to decide if I'm going to use my clacker now and try to bring some more Americans on. It might not happen. We're going to move the American stack. They need cover. 1, 2. That's not closer to the German unit. So we'll put a move on that whole stack. But they're now in cover, so they're going to get more modifiers to their morale. Then back, like I said, over here to the German unit. He will probably wait. Because, see, if I move Lieutenant Coke down now, then Herd would come north and get off the board. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. And then he would use his decisive skill, and then boom, he's off the board. That would leave that one stack left to try and figure out what to do. Yeah, this is tough. I could see why more Americans might give me some choices or give us some firepower. We could work together. But here's the thing. I could take my hero, hop the hedge. Now that this guy is spotted because he is fired, I actually could hop the hedge and charge into melee. I can do that. Actually, I'm going to do that because they're now spotted. So that special scenario rule where I can't charge something like in the same impulse I spot it kind of a deal. Well, they're spotted now because they fired and they're within 2 of somebody. So we're going to hop the hedge here. 1, 2, hop the hedge in the clear. 3, 4, 5, 6. And they're going to fight. And they get a melee marker. So this is something I wasn't doing before. When I was doing melee against like a stack of people that were all shaken, you still put a melee marker. So they get a melee. Just know they get a melee. So you can't hop in, mow down a bunch of people, and just have them marked with like a move or something like that. It's a melee marker. So they're kind of done for that turn, and then the melees come off at the admin. So we're going to melee. But we get to resolve that now. So what I'll do, I still like to use tweezers, but I swear, I think I need to buy better tweezers. All after Christmas. Christmas is tomorrow, so I have to see if Santa got me anything. I know Santa didn't get me any lock and load stuff, so I'm going to have to see what money I got. Because I want to get the rules. I think I might like the Excel maps. But now, I like tweezers. Don't ask me why I like tweezers. The smaller the counters, the tweezers help me grab them better. But I need to buy some better tweezers, so I'll have to look on Amazon. I know people will get gaming tweezers, so I'll just have to get some better tweezers. Unless they always knock stacks over, I don't know. I still like tweezers. But let's see. I'm the attacker, so Herd is at he's actually at a 2-to-1 advantage, believe it or not, because he's got firepower 2. That German has 1, so that's 2-to-1 odds. But as a hero, I get a shift column to the right. So I actually am going to play on the 3-to-1. So that means Mr. American is going to have to kill score 5. Nailed it. So Herd says, I'm coming to your rescue. Hops over the hedge. Oh, wait. No, he doesn't. That's a Bocage. Mother sucker. Oh, why didn't you tell me that was a Bocage before I made the move? Dang it, guys. You're supposed to help me see things like that. Ah, shoot. Never mind. That is not as heroic as I thought it would be. Dang it. See, this is why I as much as I enjoy playing solo, I definitely am a face-to-face person because I need someone to catch those things right away and go, oh, no, you can't. That's Bocage. So let's try it this way. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Yes, we did it. We just didn't go over the Bocage. We ran around the Bocage. Holy cow, that guy was sprinting. 1, 2, 3. Yeah, so we can still get in there. Yeah, we're back in business, baby. So we are going to wipe this guy out. But now he gets to fight back. But he'll be on the 1 to 2. So he needs a 10. It can be done. But not today. Alright, so we just took a different route to get there, but we got there. So I'm going to put him in my casualty. I don't get any victory points for that, by the way. I only get victory points when... Let me find my melee marker. I only get victory points for when I... Where's the man? I just put it away. For getting troops off the board. So we actually just now really cleared up a path. So he's in there. Well, now we're back to the Germans. They need to respond. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. We're going to come up here. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. That's as far as I can get. But here's what I'm thinking. This guy, oh, they got too shaken. They can't move east because they would be moving closer. I'd have to really try to skirt around. But the Bocage is no joke. That affects their movement greatly. But now I've kind of put this guy in a bad spot because he's right adjacent to somebody. So either he's going to get shot badly or he can try to escape. You know, because right now he could use his decisive and like maybe move up north. I don't know. He's in a bad spot. He really is. So let's take the melee off. So this is the end of the turn. So we can take that off. Melee, because they're done. There's no lingering melee, so that can come right off. And now let's check initiative. This will be turning into turn 6. Germans again. Yeah, see, I knew something bad would happen for the American player there. That's why he moved up. But he did save his buddies a little bit of trouble. But now we're going to check for initiative. But the good thing is, though, Major Tom can modify that morale check because he's got -2. Plus, they're in terrain modifier. They're in a hex with a terrain modifier. So that's a further bonus of 2. So they get to subtract 4 from the morale roll. So unless I roll like a 12 or 11, I think if a 12 or 11 will fail. So here we go. Corporal Medro will pass. He is no longer shaken. And then the squad, they rolled a 10. -4 is a 6, so they almost did not. But thank goodness we had Major Tom Hanks there, and luckily they had moved into the woods. Major Tom is still wounded. Oh, hold on. Wait a minute. It's not -2 for Major Tom. It's a -3 because, again, he's wounded, and I keep forgetting that. He's wounded. So that's 10 -3 is 7, so guess what? The airborne are still shaken, actually. Oh, that changes that a lot, actually. Oh, okay. So we still have opportunity movement. So that will affect how we decide to do things. Well, but now we're in that spot where the Germans can go. I don't want to go melee with this guy because he gets that shift to the right. We are going to shoot at him though. So that's 2 firepower because firepower 1 plus my firepower, that's a 2 positive, and no terrain modifier for the bushes. Alright, so we're going to have to make a damage check because that is a grand total of 6 -3, that's 3. I got a little modifier thing there. That's a damage check with a 3 penalty. So here goes our hero. Add 3, roll low. It's an 8, so he doesn't shake. Let me see if he gets wounded. That is a single man counter with. Is there one separate for hero? Hero or okay, hero. Oh, goes right to wounded. Right to wounded. So no, they don't shake, but he does go right to wounded. Which is fine. Like, he retains his stats. Oh no, his firepower go down by 1. Ouch. And we fired. They are definitely spotted. But see, guess what though? Guess what? My hero is not shaken. He's wounded. That means he could hop in and attack that stack of Germans. And it would be 1-to-1 odds with his shift to the right. That would put him at 3-2. He'd have a kill score of 7, and then the German player would have a kill score of 8. They'd be locked into melee combat if they don't kill each other. That'd be interesting. And then that would carry over into the next turn. Then I could eventually reinforce it with my not shaken leader, maybe, to pop in there and give a firepower modifier. Oh, no, they're not. Hold on. Let me think about this for a moment. Well, what I could do is move Major Tom in. Now, see, I can't move Major Tom into this hex because that automatically initiates melee, and Major Tom can't initiate melee. I would have to move into this stack here with our hero and then hope to get initiative, and then we could pop in and do melee. But if the German player gets initiative again, he would just shoot that hex again, and it could be very bad. Oh, just trying to think how to make this a fantastic ending. Or what we could do is leave all that as it is and start moving this American unit. They've got, but they can't because they've got that one shaken squad. Now the nice thing is if I move the leadership and skirt around to try and go north, the rules do say that the airborne can try to self-rally because they're motivated, it's nighttime and things like that. So they might not be too bad off on their own. And is that a silly move to go ahead and try to wipe out this group of Germans up here? Nope, it's not. Let's do it. Boom. They're going to move in because they're spotted. By this impulse, they're spotted because they fired. And I did not see where it says wounded, can't charge. It's just a shaken. So he's wounded. So he's moving in. And he's going to try and get the kill score. Now, like we said, it is right now, it's 1 to 2. Actually, that's probably worse than I thought. It would be 1 to 2. He's going to get a kill on a 9. Oh, never mind. That's not as good as I thought it would be. Oh, snap. We might not want to do that. Oh, shoot. Am I committed, do you think? Yeah, well, we were just working out possibilities there. Yeah, no, we're not going to melee because that actually puts him at really bad odds. 1 to 2, and then if he shifts to the right, he'd need a kill score of 9, and the German player would only need a kill score of 6. So that's actually really terrible odds. Yeah, let's not do that. I got to get these folks out of here. That's what we'll do. We're going to take our hero and go around 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So we're going to take him. You can see that, I think. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. We are out. And since Germany had initiative, he's the only one on there. They fired. That means we got to move this way. This hedge is going to just drive me batty. Because I can cross the hedge. I can move one hex. I can cross it, and then I got to run. And that's the end of that turn. Oh man, this is a chase, like a chase movie now. Oh, now actually I can move Hurt again, use his decisive, and move him off the board. So we'll do that. And that decisive was a single use. So that would have been his last impulse of action. So now we'll be on a new turn. That means I've just got this group down here to try and get out. And Lieutenant Koch is on the warpath. Let's check initiative. Germans got it again. So this is turn 7. Let me tell you, this is playing out completely different than the first time I played it. Now see, they're not spotted at this point. Yeah, they're not spotted. Cause see how that Bocage goes right down that hex side? Like that is blocked. Yeah, it is. Let's see here. It's on that hex. So I wonder. Let me see. I hate Bocage. Hold on. All right. So going back and kind of looking things over, I shot. Who was here? The hero unit. technically, I don't think I should have been able to shoot that hero unit, now that I think about it. They were 2 hexes away for nighttime, but since he was in terrain with a positive target modifier, he should have been spotted first. So I think I goofed that up. The only reason I'm looking is because I'm really trying to figure out the Bocage. It really seems like unless you're adjacent to the Bocage, we can't see. And I think in the examples it was given, I can't see down this hex side because that Bocage blocks. So there's no line of sight here. Even though, I gotta remember it's nighttime, they can only see 2 hexes anyway. So I'm gonna move down here and hope to cross the Bocage on the next turn. Just trying to get out of here. But see, what I can do now is maybe move them. And again, it's like a chase at this point. Or I can come down here, and no matter what they do, if they hop the Bocage, yeah, let's do that. 1, 2, 3, 4. Now, even though they're adjacent, it says they got to be spotted before they can see and shoot. But here's the thing: they're in the open. So if you're in the open, you're spotted. I think there goes both ways. So I have to admit, spotting is one of those things I frequently forget. And from what I've read, that seems to be a common thing, is forgetting to spot units. I think that's just a lack of experience on my part. It's not a flaw in the rules or an added complication that you can't get by. I think that's just me. That's an Eddie thing. And again, easy to overlook because I don't have someone here to say, "Oh, hey, Eddie, don't forget you got to check spotting." So not a flaw with the game. That's just a flaw with me. But we're gonna go down here, move. I think that would be the end. So they would have moved. They would have had a move marker. So we'll take the move markers off. We're gonna roll for initiative. This might decide the game right here. German player again. So it's now turn 8. We do have that shaken American unit, so they're not in positive terrain modifier, but they get -1 because of Major Tom. So they rolled a 10. They're still shaken. That's very bad news. Now, here's the thing. I actually think this might actually be a victory for the German player. Because check this out. These leaders don't have any support weapons with them, so they are non-melee eligible units. Now, even though they're stacked with a squad where he could add, possibly his 1 leadership to the firepower, they're shaken. So I believe if I hop like that, hop the 1, because they failed their morale roll. I was checking morale. I think that's that. Let me check on that. Yeah, just checking the example in the 4.1 rules. It's like the last paragraph. It says if you move in and there's non-melee eligible units, you capture all of them, and the shaken unit is non-melee eligible, and none of my leadership have support weapons. That worked out better than I thought it would for the German player. I wasn't even considering that. I honestly really thought I would make my morale check. I was not expected to roll so horribly. So that hex would be marked with melee. See, I got that down. If you do melee, it gets marked melee. It's melee. We could reinforce that later if I had more stuff, but that's that. So let's see. That's actually bad, because that's 1 victory point for the Germans. I don't need opportunity movement no more. He's captured. I'm going to stick that back in my random cup. 2 victory points for Corporal Medro, and another victory point for taking out a squad. That right there would be a German victory. Now, We took out one German squad, but that gave no victory points. But I had my hero leaves. That was one victory point for the Americans. So Germans win by 2 victory points. Okay, so that ended a lot differently than I thought. Okay, so if I was going to give you my thoughts and opinion on this scenario, that's very cool. I don't think I like that one so much as a solo, only because it is such an open-ended possibilities. Do I use the clicker and pull on reinforcements? You know, that's probably the biggest decision to make. And, you know, if you've got a crafty opponent, they might be able to figure out better what to do with that. Spotting, okay, I think I'm getting the gist of the basics down. Moving a little bit better with melee. Like, I think it's starting to come together a little bit better. But now I just got to remember, you know, spotting is a very important part of this as well. Yes, I had people in trees, and they were only 2 hexes away, but technically they're not spotted because that's a terrain blocking thing. If they had moved and had the moved marker on them, you know, then I would be able to spot them. But when you start the turn, they're now hidden in those trees, and I would have to spot before I could shoot, kind of a thing. So I think I did mess that up. But otherwise, I think I got most of this down. Yeah, so this is actually a really, really cool scenario, but I think would play best as a face-to-face. And then someone could really decide what to do and when to use the clacker and what units to pull on, you know. But that's another thing, too, what makes that scenario pretty fun is the fact that there's a lot of possibilities. Like I said, the first time I played it, it was completely different. I know I had made some mistakes, but the troops pulled, because I actually was able to pull on several German units as I was using my clicker to try and push things across the board. And this time I didn't use the clicker as much because I was trying to get through with just a few units, and that didn't work out so good in the end because we hopped. Actually, you know what? I shouldn't have been able to hop the Bocage because, again, the Bocage you have to have stuff spotted. Remember, you can't initiate melee. That special scenario rule. See, that's another thing. I got to keep that in mind too. Technically, I should not have been able to do melee because the rule said, it just came to my mind. You can't initiate melee in the same impulse that you spot something because of the nighttime confusion. So I could not have initiated melee because they weren't spotted. Yes, I moved into the hex, but the rule prevents me from doing melee. And that's the mistake I made last time I played too. I was initiating melee when technically I probably shouldn't have. So if this had not been a special scenario rule, I think that would have been a legitimate play. We would have just hopped in and surprise, there's a bunch of Americans there. So it's an interesting way to end the game, but I don't think quite legal for this particular scenario. Yeah, just weird. Yeah, I think probably better as a face-to-face. As a solo experiment, it throws a lot of different options out there. But yeah, it's pretty weird. I don't know. But hey, tell me what y'all think. First of all, just a couple things to end. Put all the announcement type stuff at the end if you got this far. First of all, thanks for all the comments. That's one reason I redid this scenario, was some of the comments reminded me of things to try and do for my second playthrough, because I know I really botched it when I played this the first time. I think I did better this time, but that last little bit there I think really threw it off. But all the comments have been great, really helping me learn the rules. And you know, it's made me decide I think I'm going to invest a little bit more in this. I think I'm going to actually shell out for the rule book, because the 5.0 rules. Now the thing is, I don't know if there's a big difference between the revision 2. See, on the internet you can go to like War Game Vault and you get the free rules, and it's 5.0 like version 2 or revision 2 or something like that. And I don't know if those changes will be in the printed that you get. So, and I don't know if there's too big of a difference. So I still think it might be worth paying out for the rules, just because I like having the paper feel. I don't know. I got my tablet. I have them on the tablet, but I'm finding it just seems to be easier if I have the paper rules. So I'm gonna go for that. But again, I gotta wait a little bit till after the holidays. And then I was thinking too about the solo system, about getting that, because I think that would help me a little bit. Maybe not for this scenario where there's a lot of hidden information up front, or random things going on, but maybe in a more, what I would call like a traditional scenario, that one isn't nighttime, so I have to try to remember all the 2 hexes away and spotting and things, but maybe just a more traditional crossing the map engagement that might help out there. I also purchased the random scenario generator, and I think I might do some scenarios with that, and that way I don't have a lot of special rules to try and remember, because again, that's not a fault of the system, that's just me, where it's like, oh shoot, does that special rule apply here? Ooh, yeah, I probably could not have done that because of the special rule, but just to generate some missions on my own. So yeah, I think I'm going to invest in this a little bit more. Again, the game is getting more comfortable the more I play. I think I want to try something with vehicles. I was going to do the scenarios in order, like 1, 2, 3, and now go to 4, 5, and so on. I'll take a look at number 4, and if it's got some vehicles, I'll try playing that one next. But it's a learning process. But I really appreciate all the feedback people have given and the watches. I think this has been a really good community effort. So yeah, keep it coming, and I hope to have more for you soon. All right, thanks a lot.